Okay, so I got everything all cleaned up. I have the two new components mounted. They're not wired yet. I have a new shaft seal that I ordered, and I ordered a new gasket for this front cover here. I just want to get everything back together again before I start losing parts. Now, when I mounted this motor back up, I used some gasket goo on the seal, on the face there, to seal it up. And this electrical here, we're just going to leave alone. Because I couldn't really separate the motor, and I didn't want to try and break something because those are quite expensive. So I'm gonna just remount everything here. Sorry if my head gets in the frame. See if we can get a little more light in here for you guys. See if that helps a little bit. Okay, so now on that shaft down there, you can see all the way down in there. If I move these wires out of the way, you see that shaft that's sticking up maybe right down in there. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That's what the actual micro switches sit on. And they just mount with a couple of screws. And then these little pins, there are two little pins inside here. And that's what triggers the micro switches as that shaft pivots when you select forward and reverse, or left and right. Okay, so that goes in there. Now comes the fun part, because there are actually three little standoffs here that the screws go on to. So I'm going to try to figure out how to get the standoffs under there and then get the screw in. Which is, actually I can probably do it with a magnet. Luckily these aren't aluminum, so should be able to just sneak it under with a magnet and hold it in place while I get the screw in there. Probably be easy to do the center one first and then pivot everything on that center one. So that's what we're going to try to do. Okay. Okay, get the first one started. These ones may prove to be a little bit more difficult on the other side here. Okay, that one's in. Okay, so tighten down those two screws, and then this white wire here gets hooked there. Alright, so I'm going to get you a better view in here just so you can see what I just did, because I know you're not going to be able to. Okay, so you should be able to see right in there, and these are the three screws I was talking about. There's one here, and one on the opposite, and then a wire gets hooked up to the middle one. And underneath that there are three of those cylindrical standoffs that had to go there. So these are the micro switches, and you can see that shaft there is triangular, so when it turns one way it pushes a little middle rod here and triggers the micro switch, and that's how you change directions. So basically what I got to do now is redo all the electrical in here, or all the main electrical in and out. So I'm going to set up with a better camera view for you guys, and we're going to get soldering some of this new stuff in. Okay, hopefully I got you a good picture. My hands are going to block some of this, but what I'm going to do, this was the original power feed in, and this was neutral, and this is 120 volts in. And so they went to the switch, so I'm going to desolder those from the switch so I can put the new one in. Now they had some hot glue, some jelly silicone here to insulate these, because it comes really close to the cover. And I was noticing on this green wire here is it was actually worn through the silicone, and when I looked on the actual cover panel for this, right up here, there's actually a little arc mark right there. So I bent that lead down, and you know, I put a scale across here, and I made sure that we clear, and we do. So right now I'm gonna just see if I can burn through some of the silicone nastiness here, and try to get these two leads unsoldered. Okay, there's one. We can maybe pick off some of that silicone at the bottom here. I apologize if you can't see a lot of this. It's just such a funky angle that this thing's sitting at. heat up on the soldering iron a little bit. Why won't you melt? Just burning the living bejesus out of silicone here. That's all I'm doing. Oh, good. Maybe some of that came off now. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do is come right in through this hole with the new cord. And I'm going to put it through a cord grip or strain relief. But you know what annoyed me about this? This is brand new. I just bought it. It's $2 and doesn't even have the lock ring on the damn thing. Cheap little bastards. Luckily I have 1,000 of these sitting around. It's just the idea. So basically we have that with the rubber grommet and a nut, and that'll grab our new cord that we'll put through there and secure it. And we'll just snug that up slightly just to let it to be able to slide in when we need it. Okay, so I already got those wires tinned, and just gonna feed them on like we had them here. Give it a little extra little boof. Okay, those are in there, and they should have my little pair. I'll pair of side cutters. If there's a whole lot of extra on the other side, you can just give it a little snippy. There we go. And then okay, we had a little bit of a figuring out to do here, but I got it all figured out. So red from the motor goes to the red tracer wire. Green goes to the green that's off of one of those micro switches. Black goes to the black that's off the fast reverse button. White goes to the white that's off of the other micro switch. So then power in, the white goes to the top of this here next to the green. The black power in goes to the bottom. There's another black wire that's off the bottom here. That goes up and feeds our fuse. And then two wires come off of our fuse here. One here feeds our black wire from our board, which we don't have in yet. And the other one feeds our light. And then off of the light, the white wire that's off of the switch, that goes to the white wire of the board. One side of the light, and then also, yeah, the white wire on the board. I already said that. Now I got the. Let me just pan you down. I have the cord grip in here, and it's relatively tight. But with these, I mean, a lot of times if you give it a good yank, you can still pull it through. So you do yourself a favor with these when you put them in. Is you just get yourself a zip tie. Get yourself a zip tie, and you just pop the zip tie in the back and basically back up that cord with that zip tie, and that'll prevent you from being able to pull it through. Okay, we'll do the same with this squish grommet. Okay, so the goal for right now is to remove this shaft seal. I have a new one. It's in this package here. It's that right there. So we need to remove this shaft. So looks like first thing that's going to come off is this spring. This spring here, I already took the selector handle off. This spring holds pressure on the tab, which disengages a gear in there that engages and disengages the teeth to the power feed. So first things first is we're going to basically take the spring off here. I wonder if I can get this shaft out without having to take that off. We'll give it a shot. My goal is to slide it straight out without having to take anything else off. So what I'm going to do actually right now is take a Sharpie, and I'm just going to mark, there's a little bronze bushing here, I'm going to mark where the shaft is above that. So that way when I put it back in, I know how far down it goes. Looks like there's a baby set screw there that will hopefully cooperate. Nope. Well, it's the one size I'm missing in this set. Is the one that it is. So on further inspection, I had to remove the arm that engages the spline, and I turned it around 180 degrees, so it was facing that way, and it looks almost like an Allen set screw. But you can see it goes all the way through the back, so it's definitely a pin. So I'm going to drive that pin out right now, get a punch, and just push that through so we can slide this gear off. The only thing that's holding this arm on here is this cap head screw. And there's a threaded section right there. So, okay. Alright, that came right out, so hopefully okay, let me get something large. See if she'll cooperate. Oh yeah. Okay, that's all I need there basically. There's the old seal. Gotta get maybe a little bit more light in there for you. The old seal. This new one is rubber and larger and fit on there just like that. There we go. Get that started. Get this in. Oh yeah, she's a tight fit. That's gonna seal nice now. Alright, get that started into the shaft. Get this guy up in place. Drop my punch. Oh yeah. There we go. Okay, just took a little bit of manipulating, but we got it in there. And now we're just going to put this arm back on. The cam follower that's on here is actually pretty loose and feels fine, so just trying to find that hole. Okay, so plug her in and turn her on. The light lights up. Center position, we freewheel. I'll get this light in close for you later, but one position there. And rapid traverse. And opposite direction. And rapid traverse. Okay, so let's get a closer look and I'll show you how this works. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. So right now we're in neutral and we freewheel, okay? You can see all the way through. Now when we click one direction, what it's going to do, you'll see this cam move, this lever move, which rides on a cam roller here. And what that's going to do is that's going to release this spring-loaded spline here. There's a spring behind here, and it's going to mesh with this drive gear. Okay, so you can see when I pull the lever, you can see that move and engage. Now that engages one of the micro switches. Motor is turning this shaft here, which is then engaged with that spline, and that's allowing that drive to be attached to the lead screw drive. Okay? Now, again, neutral, you can see that disengage, and where freewheel, we're disengaged from the motor. Okay? Now, if we want to go the opposite direction, same thing happens. Those splines mesh, but now we're engaging the other micro switch, which is allowing the motor to turn in the opposite direction. That's pretty much how the power feed works. Alright, so I have a new gasket for this front face. We'll put the cover on there and we're all done with this.